Short Me Tina here once again from shortmetina.com. So today I decided to do a video recap on the major indexes just to get just to give you guys a quick snapshot of what I think or what I see that's going on in the broader market. So I will be doing a video recap of the Russell IWM, the Dow DIA, Nasdaq's Tech QQQ, and the S&P 500, the SPY. So right now what we're looking at is the IWM. It's a daily chart dating back to around 2015. We had this uptrend followed by what we're in my opinion, is a period of consolidation. If you see here, you go back to January, right? The index ran into resistance around that 150, let's say that 160 mark. Then we had that huge decline. We shed something like 10 to 12% in February, bounced off support here around that 145 level, popped up back to resistance, and we tested that area, let's see, one time here, twice, and then we broke out. And so within the past, I want to say the past month or so, we've been kind of hitting up on that 170 mark. So right now we remain above that breakout, but the key is, are we going to break out to make new highs? Are we going to penetrate this mini resistance of around 170, which we've tried to break 1, 2, we can count this 3 times, or will we roll over back to the initial breakout area of 160, or will we have a steeper decline and go back to 140, that 145 area? Time will tell, in my opinion. I think it's going to resolve itself to the upside. Let's see what's going on with the Dow. Similar story, right? Broke out here. Well, actually, uptrend for several years, right? Since 2016. Again, uptrend since 2016. We got as high at the beginning of the year. We got around 265. We had that steep decline back in February, right? Shed something about like 10 to 12% on the Dow. Popped up here, and as you can see, where this red line here with the Dow as well, area of resistance. You can see we tried to penetrate that 255 level here once in March. Didn't happen. We reverted back to that support area of around 232. We made a second attempt most recently in June. Didn't quite get there. We had a pullback, not quite to this support here of around 230 that we experienced back in February, but we had a slight pullback, and it looks like we're trying to retest that 255 high again. So going forward, obviously we want to pay attention to that area, that 255 area. Well, that's one area. We can call that the first level of resistance. If we can get through there, then obviously the next level would be around here, that 265. So again, time will tell. Let's see how it resolves itself. In my opinion, it will be to the upside. Let's look at tech. Somewhat of a similar picture, except let's look at tech, the QQQ daily chart dating back to around 2015, uptrend. And again, similar to the IWM, it looks like we are consolidating. I'll show you the range right here. We can call this area support, comes in at around, in my opinion, around that 153 mark. We're well above there. We tested this resistance area a few times. Once here, and resistance, let's call it 170. We tested it back in January, February, like the other indexes. Couldn't quite penetrate. We had that steep decline in February, shedding about, let's say about 10%. Made another attempt at penetrating that high. We did, however, we couldn't sustain it. We went as high as around 175, reverted back to that support area of around, let's say, 150 to 155. Then we penetrated it. Again, a little bit higher than the previous time here. We got as high as around, let's say 176, and we retreated back most recently to that breakout base, and it looks like it's smooth sailing. So it doesn't seem, that there is much overhead right now for tech, but again, time will tell. And last but not least, the one that I tend to follow a lot, which is the S&P 500, the SPY. So I've already had some notations here. And you can see again, resistance. This is actually highlighted a little bit more clear. Resistance here, we can say resistance comes in at around that 280 mark. We tried to penetrate it once here, couldn't quite do it, had that decline. Attempted most recently once again in June, couldn't do it. We're establishing here short-term support. We can call that around 267 again, and right now we're trying to penetrate that resistance level, and we've tried a couple of times for the past few trading days. Again, third attempt at breaching let's say that 280 level. So let's see, short-term support is holding, obviously. This, well, they're both kind of short-term support, but really short-term support, I guess. This is trading activity for the past 2 months here. We've held that short-term support at 267. Obviously, the quote-unquote intermediate support of 256 is held. We tested that area back in February. We held it. Tested again in April. We held it. So going forward, I guess for me, the key would be to pay attention to these three areas, right? You want to pay attention to 256 to see if that can hold. You want to pay attention to 268 and resistance here at 280. So even if we have a slight pull back here to 267, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be reason for caution in my mind. But again, as with others, I think we are going to resolve ourselves to the upside. So there's a bit of a stall right now within the markets, with the exception of, with the exception of tech. So that's it. Again, a bit of a stall, but I think that the market has a little bit more to go on the long side. So that's it. Short Me Tina here from shortmetina.com, doing a video recap of the Dow, the Russell, the techs, the QQQ, and the S&P 500, the SPY. If you enjoyed any of this video recap, I would like for you to do two things for me. One, head on over to my YouTube page at Short Me Tina and hit that subscribe button. Then head on over to shortmetina.com, sign up, become a member. Thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for the support. TGIF.